Hi everyone, how are you doing? I am back to cover the broadcast, the clash between Raunak Sadhwani and Christopher Yoo. So Christopher Yoo became a grandmaster very recently, and I think this is a good time for me to tell you that he was a GM elect when he began, and FIDE officially confirmed Christopher Yoo's title. So now he's a grandmaster. Both the players are in fact ready, and you can see the screen. You see Christopher Yoo and Raunak Sadhwani, they are all set to play this match. And yesterday Raunak Sadhwani played really well. He won I think 2 important games to the black pieces. Also, this is a good time for you to let me know if everything is okay in the chat. So I see some of you have already joined. Just give me a thumbs up if you are already able to hear me well. Hi Janvi and hi Bipin. So I'm all set. The players are also set and the games are going to start really soon. Let's add some music as well. Yes, you can see Christopher Yoo. I have been observing his online chess. He's really good at Puzzle Rush. And one interesting fact about Christopher Yoo is that he solves the Puzzle Rush positions on iPad and he prefers that over mouse. That I found very interesting. And then I tried to do the same, but I could not match up. I felt that whatever mode you choose, be it with the mouse or with the touch screen, if you practice it enough, only then you can actually get used to it. Otherwise, it just feels as if, why is somebody using a touch screen to play puzzle pattern? But he was really good at it. Alright, I think I am going to watch the games now and see whether the games have begun. Let me see. Not yet. So let me reload the page. Yeah, the games have begun. This is the game, and Raunak is white, and it's a French defense. French, not that bad at the moment. The bishop has come out, and might come to a4 someday. You never know. There are a lot of jokes pertaining to the bishop on c8 and the French defense. Some of you must be already aware. Alright, knight e7, rook h3. The way Raunak is playing his move rook h3, it makes me feel as if he knows his stuff already. So he has probably seen this somewhere. And I think one of the ideas, from what I can understand, is that this rook comes to g3 to prevent the bishop from developing sometimes. And also if this knight switches, maybe it's a support to c3 to go b4. I don't know about this, and this is just my guess. But if I were to play this position and let's say I intend to go rook h3, then it would be to stop this bishop from moving so that I can keep my eyes on that g7 pawn. Hi Anshika and hi Shyam. What the need to stream 27? I think Shyam, the fact that Raunak is playing the knockout, I think that gives us a reason to stream, And he won the event yesterday. Kudos to him. And because he won the event yesterday, he is having the white pieces today. So knight c8. Okay. Now he is attempting to bring the bishop, but also this knight could be heading to b6 so that the bishop could come to a4. That could be one of the ideas. And the funny thing is, if the knight comes to b6 and if the bishop comes to a4, this queen has no square. So Raunak has to play b3. But obviously he has seen knight b6 coming and is going to make some arrangements to make sure that he has some space or some squares for his queen. I think that's pretty certain. That's what he's going to do. The computer is suggesting a4 here, but after knight b6 it's saying rook a1. I don't know if I would have done that if I were white, but the move I would have played is probably b4. I don't know if it's strategically sound though. Have rarely come across Like, I have not studied that much of French, but whatever French I know is not advanced for sure. This is an advanced variation, like you can see in this position. White has different ways to play against the French, but Raunak has chosen advanced variation. Now this is very concrete and at the same time very fluid also. The reason I say concrete is because this is closed, but it could be fluid because white has these pawn breaks with b3 and black has the pawn break with f6. Sometimes white also goes g4, g5 and sometimes g4, f4, f5 also. Now it will be very interesting to see. Wow, Raunak goes for b4. So that means I was probably right. I would have done the same. But yeah, the point is now he will be stuck in this annoying pin after cb3, knight b3, bishop a4. I'm really concerned for Raunak here. Bishop a4. I don't know how is he going to defend that. He's going to play knight fd2. Janvi Kolipara, yes, there is an increment. And everybody in the chat, do hit the like button and do let me know if my audio is clear to you and if everything is okay on the stream. Bishop comes to a4. I think that's what he's going to do next. But there is this 1 minute edge that Raunak has, almost more than a minute now. So let's say bishop a4, knight fd2, and then how will black continue? Maybe knight b6, and then just bishop d3. Yeah, it's not really clear how Christopher Yoo will use his pin. So let's wait and watch. Bishop a4, yes. Knight fd2. Now knight b6 or knight c4. I think he'll go knight b6. Thank you, Darshan. Yes, okay, knight b6. And probably now I would have played rook g3. This is the move I would have chosen because I don't want this bishop to come out and I want to see how black solves this problem of the queen side, of the king side. And after rook g3, maybe Christopher is intending to go with his king to the queen side with the queen side castling. And he's probably going to develop the bishop to d3. These are my next few moves. Ananthi Krishna is saying knight b6 to c4. Yes, very interesting idea. Knight b6 to c4. You are intending to play knight into d2. I can understand that. Very interesting. Let me see. Knight b6 to c4. After knight fd2, knight b6. So rook g3. You want to play knight b6 to c4. Okay. You want to play this. I can see that. But then what should I do? Should I play queen a2? I think I would play queen a2. So if you take this, my knight will come back and take the knight. Coming back to the game, Raunak played queen to b2. And yeah, queen to b2. If knight takes b3 here, then knight takes b3. Knight c4, I think he will take bishop into c4. Knight into c4, knight into c4. D into c4, knight d2. Exchange everything and come back with the knight to d2. So the reason I am happy about this trade is very logical in nature. Okay, let's say there is a target and you can see it. If you can see a target, it becomes easy to attack it. But with the pawn coming to c4, this pawn on c3, which could have been a target, is no longer a target because black's own pawn is blocking black's potential ideas to attack the c3 pawn. So I think that's the reason I am really happy about this. I would play bishop into c4. dc4, I would just take knight also and then probably take b7. So Raunak, I think will go for bishop into c4. Let's see. Yes, he goes for bishop into c4. I think this is a good idea. If you come across a move that you would play, please put your move in the chat and I will consider that move and see whether it works or not. So it's a good opportunity for everybody to learn by guessing moves. Okay, so until here I was correct. If queen c4, I'm going to play knight a5. So if dc4, I'll go knight to d2. This is my idea. I'll go knight d2 Yes, he goes for it. And I think black should go for bishop to c6. Bishop to c6. And then probably knight. Okay, knight c4 I won't take. So it's like this pawn is helping white. So I won't take this pawn. Maybe after bishop c6 I'll just play rook g3. So these are like my own thoughts. I have not compared my thoughts with the engine yet. I think this will be more interesting if I just share my thoughts and then we can compare. And if there is any doubt and if there is something we are not understanding, then we will check with the computer evaluation the moves and see whether that move actually matches with the evaluation. Bishop c6 rook g3 will happen, I think. Obviously you should not take the pawn. Bishop e4 is also a possible threat. So I'll just go rook g3. Goes for rook g3, very good. So let's add an exclamation. Alright. And now maybe he can just castle on the queen side. And now we reach a critical position. So a critical position is a situation in which there is a tendency for a big change to occur, or when lines are drawn as to where you are going. So after 000, I think it's a very critical position for Raunak. He has to find a way to, bring this bishop out. Also, I don't see a way to improve that position though. He goes for bishop d5. Okay. If knight stays there, bishop doesn't develop. If it knight goes away, bishop b3 is a good lock. Oh, very nice idea. He wants to get this bishop to b3. You're right, but I don't think Raunak will allow that. So since Raunak is not allowing that, I think you have good chance. But okay, if I was white, what I would do? Queen b5 check. This is probably not the move I would play. Maybe it's good. Queen b5, queen d7. Okay. Obviously, you can't take the pawn here because of queen b5, rook b5 and bishop into c4. So you have to move your queen, or you have to move something else. How about knight f1? He goes queen d7 and then goes f3. What is the idea? Still not clear to me. Why f3? He wants to go with his knight to e4. Maybe he is securing that e4 square for his knight. Yeah, that could be the idea. And now you see he can't even go rook g8 because then knight e4 comes, and then there is this bishop into h6 idea. I think knight e4, king c6, very good. What about knight e4? Shall we go with the move knight e4? I think knight e4 seems interesting. I don't see any other candidate right now. I would have played knight to e4. Chat, do you have any candidate moves? a4. Now I would not have considered that. I'm trying to figure out why he's going a4. Oh, he's going a4 to prevent b5. Wow, that's prophylactic measure against black's plan. So he played king c6. Not randomly, Christopher had an idea to play b5. And so he got a4 to prevent that. And now Christopher is playing b6. Do you know the idea? I think I know the idea. The idea is to play a6 and then to play b5. So it's like Christopher has an idea, Raunak defends it, Christopher improvises, and now Raunak has to find a way again to see whether it is worth allowing black to play b5 or should he do something else. So again, yeah, I was right. He got knight f5, and again there is this prophylactic game going on. He's prevented b5. The point is, if a takes b5, then black has to fracture his pawn structure and play king takes b5, because ab5 hangs the rook. There is this psychological game going on. It's a prophylactic game. Both are trying to see what the other wants to do. They're trying to prevent each other's ideas. For example, rook a1 prevents b5. Now again, if this king moves, the threat of b5 will be renewed. So I have a feeling that Christopher might go king c7 to go for this b5 break. He goes rook h7, so that means he's showing some tendency to develop this bishop on e7. There is this inclination towards moving the bishop now that the pawn on g7 is protected. Now I don't think Raunak has any ideas to stop the movement of the bishop apart from playing bishop a3. But will Raunak go for bishop a3? That's a big question here. If Raunak is able to play bishop a3, then this move rook h7 looks really stupid. He goes for bishop a3. Wow! I'm very happy that I saw this move. Alright. And if bishop a3, there is rook a3 again. So let's add an exclamation for this one as well. Rooks are exchanged. I think now this knight is really good. He wants to play g6. But knight e3. How about knight e3? Goes for knight e3. Alright, g6. The pawn on h5 is under attack. Gh5 is not coming yet, but he's threatening to play rook a g7. So Raunak has to find a way to create some pressure here. King f2, rook a1, rook h1 is just a lot of time. I don't think that's quick enough. He goes rook h3. On gh5 he wants to go rook h5. Okay. So he's discouraging gh5 because then there will be a disconnection between the pawns. So chat, feel free to throw some moves and we will analyze them. And I think it's a good opportunity for us to also understand where we are going wrong, which moves we are predicting correctly. I think rook h3, g5, I think that was expected because black would not like to trade with the h5 pawn. And now, I think one potential plan for white would be to get this f5 break or this f4 break. He goes king f2, very good. I would probably play rook a1 next, rook g1 and try to get something on the king side. He goes rook h1. So he's switching gears. He probably wants to go here. Oh, he wants to go knight g4 and now knight f6. What a beautiful square f6 will be for that mighty knight. I think the very classic play by Raunak. I love the way he has maneuvered throughout the game until here. And on b5 he wants to play knight g4 and now there is this tension on the a line plus black has to continuously keep protecting h6. So h6 is a major weakness in the position and it's a weakness because it can be easily attacked. Yeah, Anandan Krishan, I like your idea. Very nice. Alright, what should I do next? You know, in this part of the game, we need to have a second weakness. So Raunak is trying to provoke some weakness probably. At the moment, Christopher has this plan to play rook b7. Yeah. King e3. Yes, okay. He wants to go g3, f4. Probably that's his idea. King c7. Okay. There is no plan for black right now. He cannot really think of any other plan because he has to keep supporting the h6 pawn. A move like b5 also is not so easy to make in this position. But bishop c6 can happen. But after rook b4, the bishop can drop back to d5. Good question, Janvi. Let me just check. What on the right of you that he keeps looking at repeatedly? I don't know. I'm actually not checking the camera. Camera is for you guys. I'm having the chessboard, so that's where I'm making the moves and arrows. But okay, I don't think. By the way, everything is fair play check, so don't worry about it. It's all very transparent. And yeah, b5 has been played. b5 was played by Christopher. AB happened. Rook a1, bishop c6. And let me check Anshika. And I think the question was from Janvi. So let me quickly check the bracket. Very good question. I'm also curious. If he wins, who will he face? Okay, right now I'm not sure, but yeah, I will check and let you know. Let Raunak win this game and I will check and let you know. Alright, rook a7, bishop b7. Alright. You see that if this king can play, if the king could play some role in attacking one of the weaknesses, then I think it's game over. It's winning for white. So Raunak wants to probably play king b2, king a3, king b4. That's probably his plan. But king a3 is met by rook a8. How is he going to deal with that? Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to do things there. But there is this idea: rook f1, pawn g3, pawn f4, and then f7 could be the second target. That's a move I like. Dev Malya Chakravarti, thank you. You want to reduce the music? Okay, I will reduce the music. Okay. I have reduced it further. Avnish Agarwal, I hope that's okay. स्कोर अभी तो मैच शुरू हुआ है रजत, तो अभी हम देखेंगे कि क्या होगा. ये है फर्स्ट मैच. And Anshika is right. Do like the stream, folks. And if you are here for the first time, subscribe to the channel. B4. I think this is an attempt to seek some counterplay. I'm considering cb4, and then if king b5, king c3, rook a8. Yeah, this might happen. But what about cb4, king b5, rook a1? King b4, rook a7. This should be also good, right? As long as the rook stays on the a file, I think it's okay. But Christopher is down to just 14 seconds. That's the important factor, I think. But the evaluation bar doesn't like Raunak's move. And now this pawn on c4 needs some attention. Because now rook a4 might come, and then rook b4 check, and then c4 pawn is tata, bye bye. So rook a4 immediately. I think he should go rook a4. Yes, very good. And then rook b4 check also. Because rook a5, and now he wants to take this. Rook d5, no. I don't think Raunak will take a draw here. He's better in this position. At least it feels like he should be better. No, thanks to this pawn on h5, I fancy white's chances in this position. Jai Hanuman, Namaskara, Hegidira. Anshika is right, first to win wins. Rook b4 check. Knight d5. Okay, I would play rook a1 here in this position. To go for that f4 idea. King a3. What is he trying to do? King a4. What is the threat though? I don't see a threat. Oh, he wanted to exchange the rooks. Okay, but rook into c5. What is happening? It's happening very fast. I am not able to comprehend, so I'm just trying to see what's happening. Rook g8. Okay, if I play knight d5, e d5, rook d5, what's happening? He takes a pawn on c4. Okay. I'll just first play rook a5 check. Because fg4. Rook, bishop g2, knight e3. Come back. Job is over. Come back. Okay. Bishop g4, rook f7. Rook g5, rook f6. This rook endgame is winning. Obviously, it's winning. It's winning. There's too many pawns up. King takes b3 first, and then rook into e6, and then c4 check is threatened. Yeah, this is winning. I think Raunak is on the verge of a win here. Very good technique. e6 and then d5 must be played. He goes rook e5. No, he takes the pawn on h5. He wants to win it clean with rook takes h5. 2 pawns up, and now I think it's just simple. You should not blockade your pawns. Don't fall for stalemate tricks. These are the two key pointers in such situations when you are 2 pawns up in a rook endgame. You can go to chess.com/endgames and perfect your endgame skills by going through those endgame positions that our team has selected. And now I think d5 check, and then king b5. Very good technique. Rook h7, again now c6 check, and then he goes d6, and next c6 is coming. Yes, he's making no mistake here. King b6 here, but king b6, rook b7. Okay, you have to be careful. And now c7. I think that's correct. c7. He goes d7. Rook g8. Stalemate idea. If rook g8, it's a stalemate, so he has to be careful. But he will eventually win. He'll play rook e5, king c5, and rook e8. Again, king b6, c7 check is threatened. Yes, and Raunak wins the first game. So we'll have to wait, and we will see again. I think we'll see another match with Raunak, and we'll have to see when that match is. I'll come back to you. There are other games that will keep going. So Raunak, I hope you saw that little celebration that Raunak did after that victory. And the second match is going to begin very soon. So let's start. I think let's take a short break. Probably I'll just take you through the game, and then we'll take a short break as to what happened. I actually understood. Anshika, I think so. What do we do? We'll have to watch the entire games, right? We'll have to watch. I think it'll be a good opportunity to learn. The chat can keep guessing moves, and we can analyze a little bit. So I'll just go through the game for all of you. Let's go to analysis. Okay, just making sure that you're able to see the board. Yeah, you're able to see the board. Okay, good. So I have very limited knowledge about this pawn structure, but I think I started observing from here, and the threat of knight b6, bishop a4 was looming. So Raunak decided to go b4, and then there was this topic of how to handle this pin, and the topic got quickly eliminated. It just went with no particular conclusion after pieces got traded on c4, and I just shared my bit here that if the pawn is coming to c4, I would like it because the pawn on c3 is no longer under the radar of black. And I think from here, when he played king c6, this is where the prophylaxis game began. Yeah, so this is where things started. Okay. Riem Das, there are a lot of matches. You see that Daniel Dubov will play Liem Lee, then Hikaru will play Grischuk, Fabiano will play Fedoseev. After all that, Raunak will play his next match. That's how it is. Alright, so in this position after king c6, black is intending to play b5. So a4. And then black intends to play b5, so rook a1 to prevent b5. And then after rook h7, the bishop wants to move, but he eliminates it with bishop a3. And after this position, Raunak always had this slight edge because this pawn on h6 became weak after this pawn came to g5. It was very good handling by Raunak. And then he slowly squeezed out the win. And now I'll just see if the next game has begun. Give me a moment. Okay. So it's like this. Raunak will play the winner between Dubov and Liem. Okay, that's the situation right now. Daniel Dubov and Lee Kuan Liem will be playing. So we'll observe that game now, and once the game begins, I think ready to start it. And at the same time, let me get the cameras. Meanwhile, I'll take a short break and I'll be back. Hello everyone, I'm back. Daniel Dubov's game has begun against Grandmaster Lee Kuan Liem, and the result of this game is important for us because Raunak will face the winner of this match, and Hikaru versus Grischuk is the third game, as you can see. Let me just give you the pairings as well. Quick look at the pairings just below my camera. And let's come back to the cameras. Daniel Dubov versus Lee Kuan Liem. It's a known fact now that Daniel Dubov is one of the experts of the Catalan, apart from our very own Grandmaster Srinath. Bishop b4 check, bishop d2, a5. So a5 is a system to play if you want some solid chess as well as some dynamics embedded in a single game. With this a5, black is creating space and also protecting the bishop on b4. And here after dc4, this is Liem's attempt to complicate the matters. Knight e5 is not possible as d4 hangs, so bishop g5, so that this knight could jump to e5 and the queen starts looking at the pawn on d4. b5, and b5 is a pawn that is actually very keen on supporting its brother on c4. So white plays a4 after knight c3, c6, and now there is this tension building up. I've also seen some moves like rook a6 in such cases, but rook a6 drops the pawn on b5 in some lines. So first he takes the pawn, or he takes the knight with bishop to c3, and now maybe rook a6. Doesn't go for rook a6 yet, goes for knight d7, probably preventing white's knight e5. Yes, it's Catalan. So some of you already have reasons to be happy. And knight bd7. Okay, let's start our guessing game. After knight bd7, what would I do if I was playing this position as white? Okay, if I play rook b1, my opponent has bishop a6. So let's not do that. Can I go knight e5? No, he just take and trade everything and put his knight to d5. Can I just play queen c2? Yes, I think I would play queen c2 in this position. Anand Krishnan also is going for my move, queen c2 followed by e4, but Dubov plays queen b1. He's probably improvising on our ideas. Yeah, so queen b1 is attacking the pawn on b5. ab5 is a threat, direct threat. If bishop a6, maybe he goes queen b6, and now knight d2 creates this knight into c4 cheapo, 1 rupee trap. I would have played knight d2 instantly because of the trap that I have seen with knight takes c4. But Dubov is Dubov. He goes for what matters in the position, and in this position initiative matters. Probably knight e5 is interesting. Hi Nishant, welcome to the channel. I think I'll just edit the title, no? Yeah, give me a moment, I'll just edit the title. Yeah. Okay, I think that's cool. Alright, queen b1, queen b6. So we are in this position. Everything is good. Daniel Dubov is thinking. I think that's also giving me an opportunity to tell everybody that Raunak has won. Isn't it? Okay, give me a moment, folks. All right. Very good. That's done. Coming back. I'm now coming back to the game. Board freeze, game freeze. Yes, I'm back. Darshan, Jay, Rajgor, thank you for watching and coming back. He did go for knight e5, but he played bishop f6 first, and after knight f6 he played knight e5, attacking c6 and c4. Liem only defended the c6 pawn and gave up the c4 pawn. Alright. And now the situation is as follows. Both the pawns are under white's radar. Which pawn will he save? At the same time, important to note that knight into c3 may also come anytime as a jhatka. We never know. So now knight takes c4. If b takes c4, queen takes b6, knight takes b6, bishop takes a8, knight takes a8, rook takes a5. How is this position? White has two rooks, black has two pieces, like a rook and two pieces. He goes for queen c7, doesn't go for that line. Okay, do not play queen takes b5 here, everybody. I'm just giving you 5 seconds to spot why queen takes b5 is a mistake. I'm keeping an eye on the chat. Why is queen takes b5 a mistake? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's see whether I see some moves. Jay, yes, I think white is better. But Yeah, some calculation is required. He goes knight a3. Knight a3. Knight e2. No, I don't get it. Queen takes b5 in this position was a mistake because of bishop a6. So, please pay attention to your tactics, to your opponent's ideas. Very important. Alright, let's come back. Rook b8. C3 is under attack. Okay, important to note. C3 is under attack. And knight takes c3 is coming by force. If bishop d5, I don't like to give this bishop. It's a sacred bishop. How do you defend this c3 pawn now? Knight takes b5. He goes for it. But what about queen d7? Oh, he has c4. Okay. Queen c6. He wants to play rook takes a5. Very brave. Knight takes c3, knight c7, knight b1, rook fb1. Okay. Still very brave. Anandakrishnan is very engaged with the game today. I think this is how you must watch. Like, you also have to guess moves, be very active with the ongoing game, and then in no time you will see signs of improvement in your chess game. Rook takes a5. I would have played this immediately. Rook takes a5. Bishop a6. Bishop a6. What do I do? Oh no. No idea what he's going to do now. How will he defend this? At least the evaluation bar is having a balanced evaluation, yeah? So that doesn't mean so it means that white has something. It doesn't mean that white is lost. I don't know. Rook a5, bishop a6. What is the move? What is the move? Move that Dubov will probably find out. Very curious about this. In this position, you can't play knight a7, I think, because of queen a8. That's another issue. I think I found a defense. c4, queen c4, knight a3. How about this? Anandakrishnan is saying bd5. Queen d3, not a good sign. I don't like this move. I don't like bishop into d5 either. Anandakrishnan, you see, if you give this bishop, you are losing the soul of your position. Why would you want to do that? And then you want to take rook a5, then bishop a6 is coming. You won't stay long in that pin. I might be wrong. These are my thoughts. I might be wrong. Darshan Borole saying knight a7. Knight a7, queen 8, and then the knight is also attacked. You see, if you play knight a7, this is not a good sign again. Alright, coming back to the game. Queen d3 was played. Let's try to figure out why queen d3. What about queen takes b5? c4, knight b4, cb5, knight d3, ed3, rook b5. I think Dubov has lost all his advantage with that move. So queen b5, rook b5, c4, rook b4, cd5, rook into d4, de6, bishop e6, rook a5. At the end of all these threats, white is a pawn up. Aradhagard is saying queen d3 was a little inaccurate, maybe. Knight a7, queen 8, knight b5 is not clear. Okay, so he's saying that in this position, knight a7, queen a8, knight b5 not so clear. I thought there was some trouble with bishop d7. You have some play here with c4. You have some play. Yes, you are right. It's not so clear. So this was a very brave attempt, I think, but he did not go for it. He went for this. And they are following this line where everything is getting exchanged. So he goes for rook b4, rook b2, and he took this e2 pawn. I was in my calculation taking the pawn on d4. Jai Rajgor, you are right, it's very complicated. But now that the pieces are getting traded, it is going towards a balance. It's reaching a balance now, see, because everything is getting traded. And after cd5, d5, I think he picks up the pawn on d5. Yes, bishop d5 or rook d5. Bishop d5 is keeping the bishop, but rook d5 means you are trading that as well because of bishop b7. So Dubov has no dangers of losing this game because he's a pawn up. I mean, he's going to be a pawn up very soon, in just a matter of few seconds. Goes for rook takes d5, very good. And now they are going to play this double rook endgame with an extra pawn. Rook d7, bishop g2, king g2. I think Liem will definitely take it. He'll definitely take bishop on g2. Yes, he goes for it. And now what's the drawing strategy for black? What is the drawing strategy? I think first, if rook d2, there is king f3, king e3. So he should probably play h5 or just g6. g6, king g7. Yeah, he goes for g6, king g7. White still has some, winning chances. When will Raunak's next match start? Shritu Patel. Very good question, and I'll just tell you when their match will start. Give me a moment. It will probably start at 11:30 Indian Standard Time. I think so. It will probably start at 11:30 Indian Standard Time. All right. Rook e6, d5, rook f6. So one of the techniques to remember is when this rook is on the 7th rank, your f7 pawn is usually vulnerable. So you have to find ways to defend that rook by active means, not by being on f8, but probably by being on the f line. That's what Liam Lee has done. And this rook can now go and do some activity, like the rook can create some threats against the f2 pawn. Yeah, Anshika, you're right. And dear viewers, if you are here for the first time, do subscribe. And if you are enjoying the broadcast, do hit the like button and show your support to Raunak and to our channel. After rook 8, I think it's very important to prevent rook a2. So rook d2 makes sense. And now, let's go rook a1. This is a move I would play, or just wait, maybe just play king g7 and just wait. I would have probably played king g7 and just waited. If black king would be active, then it's easy draw for Liem. Yes, so he's trying to push this rook away from d7 to play king to e8. Another drawing method is to round up the pawn and attack this pawn 3 times. Once with the rook, second time with the rook, and third time with the king. But I don't think that will happen. They'll probably make a draw with white being a pawn up, but not being able to make any progress. Yes, Anshika, you are right. Projected time, as they show in cricket, is 11:30. The projected score in cricket, here the projected time. But I think this is good for Raunak because now he will know his opponent. And then he gets this 45 minutes to 1 hour to prepare for his next round game, because he will know if the winner is decided in this game, he will know his opponent. And as chess players Like as a chess player myself, I like having that little time to think about what I would do when compared to, let's say, knowing opponent just 10 seconds before the game begins. So it's a good idea to have some time before your games to see what plan you would choose, what kind of game you would want to play. And after d7, the evaluation is clearly dropping in black's favor. So I think rook d6 is a major idea, after which the draw is very much certain. Yes, Ritu Patel, I was watching IPL because there was this trailer that was released today. That's why I was watching. But yeah, I am a supporter of RCB and Chennai Super Kings. But what to do? They did not really get to the finals. Not d5, d6. Yes, rook d6. That's what I meant. And now rook e6. Yeah, so this game ends in a draw. They will play another match. Yeah. Okay. King and pawn in game. I think it's going to be a draw. King e4, king e6, draw. Alright, so that means another match. Alright. Namaskara, Anant Narayan Aure. Thank you very much. My birthplace, Jayanuman, is Belagavi. So this is a blitz game now. The time control is 3+2. And regarding the time control of Raunak's match, I think it will also be 10+1. Oh, Ananthi Krishnan is like really watching Indian games as well. Amazing. With the pawn on d6 and f4, f5 with support to jail rook. Yeah, possible. But I think with best play, the game should end in a draw in that endgame. Alright, what's happening here? Things are moving really quickly. Pawn has come to d6. This pawn has come to b5 and c4. Bishop e4, d6, knight d4. Knight d4, what is the idea? g6. Well, it's a very fresh position. Pieces are on very unnatural squares. This knight on d4 is on d4, but it's unprotected. Watch out for some tactics on this diagonal. Rook e1, preventing castles, very good. Rook into e7 is an idea. So how does black solve this problem? How does Dubov solve this? Let me think. Oh, Jay Rajagopal is supporting Dubov. Alright. I'm also a huge Dubov fan. Rook e1. What to do? e7 is under attack. What do we do? Daniel Dubov is spending time because he's also not really sure, I think, what to do. I would probably play queen d8. Just play queen d8. Enough. Queen d8, knight b5, I'll go castles. What to do? I don't know how to defend this e7. Queen c7, knight into b5, Jay. You have to be careful. Queen c7, knight into b5, and then if you play queen b7, tata, knight fork. So to be really, really careful. I am not sure what to do. Rook e1. Daniel Dubov is spending a lot of time, and that's a blitz game. Queen d8, knight e6. Wow. Is that your move, Ananth Krishnan, or is that Indian's move? Let me know. Queen d8, knight e6. fe6, de6, but d5. I don't think it's working. Queen d8, knight e6, I'll take fe6 and then d5. So no, you don't win my heart there. So it's not the best, I think. Daniel Dubov. I don't know what's happened to him. Is my board okay? Let me see. He played knight fd7 after such a long thought. Oh no. Knight c6, knight c6, dc6, knight e5. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Your move, okay. So let's hit 100 likes today. We are already on 57. All those who have just joined, do hit the like button. Let's go knight e5. Dubov, let's go. Knight to e5. Knight f6. Okay, good job. Now, still not ready to castle. At least with knight e5, I thought we are ready to castle. But knight f6, we are not ready to castle because the pawn on e7 hangs. What do we do? We have to go with the move like queen c7, but then white has a4 to pull the leg of this pawn on b5, and then if this pawn on b5 decides to go b4 or ba4, then the future of c4 very uncertain. Goes for a4 directly. Wow, bishop e6, and now he is preparing castling. You can see that there is a tussle going on between the two players. White is saying no castling, black is saying I will castle somehow. So it's just a battle of this small goal that white has, and black is also trying to meet his ends, like he wants to castle as soon as possible. The engine evaluation, if you can see, it's 0.7, so white is slightly better. Black is slightly better, it's minus 0.7. okay. Now this I am not sure. Practically I still feel white has some chances, but maybe black has managed to defend against all the important threats. Black will be flagged before he castles. Jay Smith is saying, yeah, but it's Dubov, you never know. Dubov can make the moves very quickly. So considering that black is running with the king, white is trying to complicate the matters and say, stay on e8, don't rush. After queen b4, I think ab5 will follow definitely, and then rook b1. ab5 and then rook b1. c7 last move for white, Inferno. I think rook c8 he would have done. Why was c7 a bad move? I think the problem was probably oh, here you mean c7 in this position. Knight f6, c7. There was d5. That's the reason why it's not correct. And in this position also, instead of b4, if you play c7, there is again d5. That's the reason it was incorrect. Let's come back to the game. Dubov has 17 seconds. Liem has 20 seconds. Still anything could happen. Anything could happen. The result is like still not so clear as to which side is better. c7 pawn, rook b8 check is threatened. He goes for bishop c5, rook b8 check, king d7. Dubov wants to come with his king to d7. Picks up the pawn. You see, now it is Liem who is in time trouble. He was able to make those moves really quickly, and Liem is about to lose on time. You see that he has just 5 seconds. Managed to defend the bishop, but again the rook is attacked. Rook has to move. dc4 is met by bishop a8. And now this knight goes to b6, rook b8. Okay, still in the balance, still somehow maintaining, but knight d7 attacking the bishop on c5 and the queen, and it's lost. Knight c5 and it's lost. Dubov has changed the position in the last few seconds. Black is a piece up in this position, bishop c3, and the rook is also lost. So Raunak will face Dubov. What a clash that will be. This is a time for me to change the title. And I'll do that, and I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, I'm back. I managed to get the cameras for both the players. We have Hikaru Nakamura playing white against Alexander Grischuk. Alright, so let's get started. No, this is not Black Lotus music. Takeshi Castle, Shakti Traders, hi. This is not Black Lotus, it's by Sakura. It's by Harris Heller, and the name I think is, the song right now is Macha. Alright, let's come back to the game. This is a London system. London fans, is anybody playing London these days? I'm sure there will be at least one person saying yes, I am a London person. Alright, BD3 at 6. I have myself played London system quite a lot in my career, and it's a sound opening. And the interesting fact is that I defeated SP Seturaman once with this London system, so it's not an opening that you can take lightly. After Bishop D3 at 6, Knight C4, Bishop P4, Knight CD2, Bishop D6. This is a perpetual that is possible. Hikaru using supercomputer for preparation. Anantha Krishnan, where did you get that information? Link the source. Link the source, or it's not happening. Alright, Queen B3, I think is going to castle very soon. At least right now it looks so. But a crazy idea is G4, G5. But I don't think that's necessary. White need not do that because black is on the verge of opening the position. So when your opponent can open the position, do not keep your king in the center. Tip that you can register in your mind, but take this with a pinch of salt because there are some exceptions as well. Chess is a vast game for generalizations to work always. Alright, Rook F8. What do we have in this position? Let's try to evaluate. After Rook F8, what would I do if I was playing white? Oh, Hikaru himself said this on the Twitch stream. Bipin, very good. When did you get to know this? Give me more information, because this is something that I was not aware of. Wow, chat is really updated these days. Okay, Queen A3. Idea is Knight to E4 or Knight to C4. Sorry, Knight to E4 or Knight to C4. Keeping an eye on the pawn on D6. Yeah, I like that move, but black could probably play A5. Yes, Grischuk goes for my move A5. Alright, that's cool. Alright, Bishop B5. So the B5 bishop cannot be disturbed by any pawn because the pawn has already come to A5. So that's a good sign for Hikaru. While analyzing one of the Vishy's games in the Superbet. Oh, okay. Vish versus Duda draw. He says he uses supercomputer and he said G4 from Vishy as fantastic and absolute best according to supercomputer. Wow. Om Shri Prasad, I know one thing, that Hikaru is not in his usual place. He is somewhere else and is preparing for the upcoming candidates. I know about this, but I wasn't aware of this new information that Bipin gave me. Bipin and Anantha Krishnan, you guys are really updated. Good job keeping track of all the updates. Alright, Knight 7 F6. Again, white's turn. What would white play? Okay, let's see. Knight B4 can come anytime. Black has to be really careful. White has to be really careful. I think Queen A4. This would be my move. I would play Queen A4. Idea A3. B3 then Rook C4. B3 and then Rook C4. Okay. Let's see. I don't know whether Hikaru will go for B3. But if Hikaru goes for B3, brilliant move. I would say. You were able to find the move that Hikaru played, yeah? I think it also increases confidence. He goes Queen B3. Alright, square was right, but the piece was wrong. Alright, Queen B3. I was intending to go Queen A4, but I think this is also fine. Queen B3. The point is, I don't want this knight to sit on my head on B4, and I have this A3, but still. Again, after Queen B3, what should Black do? Black can go E5, no? DE, then DE. This is possible. Queen D8, okay. Again, White's turn. What should White do? A3. I vote for A3. A3 is my move. Any supporters for A3? Oh, he goes for A3. Wow. So let's add exclaim. Exclaim just because I guessed the move. Alright. Then if rook takes rook takes rook. Very good. Rook C8. What should we do now? I think it's just equal. White cannot brag about the position and Black cannot be unhappy about the position. So it's just very solid for both sides. But if Hikaru wants to keep playing for a win, then I think maintaining the rook will make sense. If Hikaru himself thinks that this position is just equal, then he will just trade rook into c8 and will probably make a draw very soon. Just the fact that Hikaru is white and he might have to play black in the next game, I think gives you this feeling that maybe Hikaru might try. Takes. You would play rook e1, bishop f1, g3, bg2. Ananta Krishnan, I wouldn't play g3 and bg2 unless it's necessary, I think. Because g3 is a move which is helping the b7 bishop. Just because you can fianchetto, don't do it. I would play rook e1, yes. My move, your move is same. Bishop at b5 doing nothing. I don't know. We cannot say nothing. Maybe something, but not so relevant. Rooks are exchanged, so draw very soon. I'm just assuming this position will be a draw. I think it will be a draw very soon. But Hikaru is involved and he might decide to play until the very end. So you have to be ready for everything when you're playing Hikaru. Knight e7. Maybe Black wants to play bishop to d5. That could be the idea. Hikaru drops back his knight to e1. What is his idea? No, I have no idea. I think he just wants to play knight to d3, but there's nothing concrete. But if this or this knight, if one of the knights manages to reach b5, we might see some threats. Knight b1, knight e4 is coming, so I cannot do that so easily. If this queen goes to b8, there's some tricks like bishop e6, but of course the queen will remain on c7 to support the pawn on b6. Make one video on Prag and Yi, crazy game. Prag and Yi. Wei probably. I will check that game, Manu Prakash. Thank you for the suggestion. I have not checked it, but I will check it. Knight to f5. Okay. Can I go bishop into e6? fe6, queen e6, idea queen takes f5. Trap or no trap? Is this a trap or no trap? Hikaru has believed Grischuk, so I am very curious what happens on bishop e6. Why is this a mistake? fe6, okay, queen e6, okay. King f8, okay, queen takes f5, I am a pawn up. But there is queen c1. Two knights are under attack. And if I go knight f3, bishop into f3. This is a long combination. So Hikaru saw this, I had not seen this. I was very excited at the opportunity of bishop into a6. It's not an opportunity, it's a blunder disguised as an opportunity. Alright. coming back to the game, knight e7, very good. Yeah, they will probably repeat and make a draw. Yeah, Om Shri Prashant and Bipin, both are in very good form. Very good, you found Queen C1 idea. That's correct. This is one way to boost your confidence. Keep looking at the games of top players, but guess the moves. Be proactive. Be engaged with the game. Bishop e4, okay. Bishop into d3 is a possibility. That's probably why he wants to do it. Should I take the bishop or not? Or can I just play queen c2? Queen c2 is just saying that array draw kar lete hain. But Hikaru might just play bishop f1. Just come back. But there is this queen c1. Needs to be careful. He goes queen d1. Okay. So he's just covering c1, and on bd3 he wants to put his knight to d3. That's what he wants. Queen c4. Okay. Knight e1. Actually, black can keep pressing in this game. Why? You can see the position of the pieces. The queen is very active. And yeah, knight e4, really like this move. Grischuk offers a draw. Hikaru declines a draw. I'm not sure what's happening. So after queen c2, knight c2, Hikaru is playing for a win. I think this position is something that black would be really happy to play. But yeah, they are going to keep playing until the very end. Knight d3, f6. Yeah, this should be a draw. Krishnan, what you say may be interesting, but we have come so far from that position that it's not relevant anymore. But when this pawn is on e6, definitely bishop into e6 tricks are working. King f8. Yeah, I got that. Okay, so draw incoming. Draw. Very soon you will see a draw. a4, knight g6. Should be a draw very soon. Not sure what the players are doing, what they are thinking. It's just not possible to make any progress for either side. b4 break also not much, because after that you need to be on b3. So then b4, knight b3 is his idea. You can just stop it with knight c4. Like just protect the a5 pawn with knight c4. He goes for e5. Okay, both the players are trying this position. Rinchen by Olympian में कौन foreigners player आ रहे हैं? Like Anish, who else is coming? Rugved Narvenkar. Yes, this is the first game between Hikaru and Grischuk, which is heading towards a draw. Karan Punjabi, I think there are a lot of stars. There is also Nemsko playing. She's from Canada. And the US team is probably announced, but I don't remember exactly who. I know that Hikaru is not playing the Olympiad. We have Magnus Carlsen coming to India for sure. So he's going to play the Olympiad. Yeah, I think that's about it. Like, as the days pass, we will know more about Olympiad, because before Olympiad, God has placed candidates for us. So all the focus is right now on the candidates. B3. Okay, if white plays e4, then it's like ultimate tension on the four squares in the center. Om Sri Prasad is right. Magnus Carlsen is coming. Do follow our Twitter account. That is where we post a lot of updates pertaining to the Chess Olympiad. Also pertaining to the candidates. We have an account on Twitter, chesscom_in. Our moderators could probably post the link of our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Thank you moderators for being here and also managing the chat. B3, knight e7. Okay. Yes, Karan Punjabi, Magnus is coming. Yeah, Hikaru declared draw against VD4 versus 4. Yeah, that's right. But eventually we drew that game. And that's also important to mention. Alright, knight e1, knight c6. Both the sides are not blinking. Hikaru will probably not take d5 so soon. He'll also just keep the knight to c2 and keep playing. So 95 of you watching, do hit the like button and stay tuned for the Raunak's match against Daniel Dubov, which will take place very soon. Thank you, Anshika. That's our Twitter account. The link that you see, we post memes, puzzles, clips, news, everything there. And that's the place where you get all the instant updates pertaining to chess in India. Knight a b5. If knight b5, I think he'll just go knight b5. Yeah. Also, black can play knight b4 check and push this king a little bit, but that doesn't change the evaluation of the position one bit. But it's important to know that knight c7 is a potential threat. Yeah, it's a threat right now. Knight c7, so knight takes b5 happens. But that's a mistake. Oh no. The evaluation is dropping in white's favor. It's like coming up, it's going up towards white's favor. So it's favoring white because of this pawn on b6. Grischuk is down to 35 seconds and this is getting really close. That knight on b4 has no square. It's on b4, it looks good, but it has no square. Wow. Some Hikaru magic here. Definitely Hikaru magic. King d6, but this knight can go to f5, and that's what he does. Hikaru goes, and it's lost. Can you believe this? It's lost for black. The knight is coming to g3 and it's coming to f5. Wow, unbelievable. Hikaru in low time controls plays like Magnus Carlsen in Endgame. Wow, so well put, Om Sri Prasad. Shritu Patel, yes, thanks for reminding us that all the links are in the description as well. Why knight e2? Why is he not going for knight f5? I'm very curious. Why not? Just go for knight g3, knight f5. Why is he not going for it? He's going to do it now. e4. Takes. Now knight c3 is a check, so it's a threat. Now f5 is coming. Okay, f5 is coming, so he has to go knight g3, king d5, and now knight h5, again king e6. Somehow he's managed to stay in the game. He's not giving the pawn up, so he's still in the game. Knight h6. Why is he not playing knight h6? Is he playing... Like, what happens on knight h6? Is it knight d5? They've drawn the game by repetition. I am very curious. What happened here? Oh, wait. I'm seeing knight f5. Knight g3. Oh no, next game has begun. But okay, I will actually find out what's happening here. King e6. What if I take the pawn? Knight d5. Okay, I'll come back. Knight c7. Oh, This is the reason. Om Shri Prasad jinxed it. Alright. Give me a moment. I just saw that the scores are updating. Alright. Alright, so let's come to the Blitz game now. Let's watch the ongoing Blitz game. This time Alexander Grischuk is white. And it's a Nimzo Indian. Isolated queen pawn. You can see that the pawn on d5 doesn't have a neighboring pawn, so that is what makes it isolated. After knight c5, I would not be in the mood to take the pawn on d5. So like bishop f6 and queen d5 I would not do, because my king is in the center. So a move that I would play as white is bishop e2. Bishop e2 and just stay happy with this position. Maybe queen d4 is a possibility, attacking the bishop on b4. He goes queen d4, okay. But this was not my move. This was the engine's move. So I've just stopped the engine so that I can start calculating on my own. Bishop takes c3, alright. Shall I go bc3? I would go bc3 because it's safe. It goes queen c3, but what about knight ce4? Bishop f6, knight f6. And now bishop e2, knight e4 is coming. You have to be careful. So knight e4 is coming and this queen moves somewhere, then queen a5 check kind of moves are possible. So it goes bishop e2, but what about knight e4? How do we deal with this? You want to see this position from black's point of view? Here you go. I'm showing this position from black's point of view. Bishop g4. Castles. Okay, how about rook c8? He goes queen b6, connecting the rooks. And if you look at it, the players, the top players, they usually connect the rooks before moves 14. Before 14th move, they have this priority in mind to connect the rooks so that these rooks are communicating with each other. Knight d4. Grischuk is probably aiming for a long grind against this pawn on d5. So if you are white and if you are playing against isolated queen pawn, it's a good idea to remember that endgames are going to favor you. So exchanging pieces could benefit you in long run. And as white, you must stop any ways that black wants to. Whenever black wants to play d4 and get rid of that IQP pawn, you have to stop it. White has established a strong blockade here, but knight d2, this is probably the counterplay that Hikaru would be looking for. Knight d2, rook d1, knight c4. Knight d2 is coming. g6, he doesn't go for knight d2. Why? I'm very curious though. Let's see. Knight d2, what happens? Now let's ask. Knight d2, white has knight f5. Whoa, this is another level. If I take this rook, knight check. And then knight into rook, attacking the queen, and the queen attacks the rook. What a threat! What an unusual threat. And if queen d8, you just pick up the knight. Classy threat that was. So I would have fallen into Grischuk's trap with knight e4, and I would have played knight d2 here. Knight d2. Alright, let's come back to the game. Knight c5. Okay, queens are off the board. I prefer white's position, but as a compensation, black has this double pawns to target. Because white has these double pawns, I do not think that white's advantage is large. chair hardcore. No, no, no. I'm not lazy, but eventually I will tread that path of playing the tournaments and becoming the GM. I have a grandmaster now, so yeah, a little bit more time and I will make it. All right, b3 pawn is hanging, and yeah, how do we defend that? Knight d4 or knight c1? He goes for b4. Okay, knight a4, knight on the rim, usually dim, but maybe not today. Yeah, I think knight a4. Hikaru chooses the move that I was considering. Okay, good. We are on the right path. Rook c2 is also likely to come very soon. And if there is more if there is a problem connected with d5, knight can always drop back to b6 and support the d5 pawn. But Grischuk is going low on time, 20 seconds only. We saw in the last game how Hikaru created magic out of nothing in the last few seconds in the endgame. And he has to be careful that he should not allow that to happen again. b3, knight is under attack, so knight has to move to c3 or b6. Knight c3 I like knight c3, because then knight c3 you can play rook c3, but Hikaru goes knight b6, avoiding the trade, keeping the tension, wants to go rook c2. I think he wants to go rook c2. Yeah. h5, but what about knight f4? He goes h4. What about knight f4? Again, the same question. He goes knight d4. Still not so convincing. Rook a2. I don't know what the idea is. Maybe he wants to go rook a5. Maybe. Wow. So he built a position in such a way that he is not allowing second rank entry. He covered the c2 square many times. And this knight on d4 cannot be disturbed as well. Knight d4, rook c1. They are trading a path that's actually very equal. Yeah, but it is Hikaru who is actually in some sort of a pressure when it comes to the position, but he has the edge, you can say, on time. 10 seconds more than his opponent. Knight d4. Okay, knight e8, rook a5, attacking d5. Things are turning in Grischuk's favor right now because d5 is hanging. If you go on to defend d5, then the question is who will support b7 with rook b5. Goes for rook b1, gives up the pawn. He realizes that he has to support the b7 pawn, as that's more important than the IQP, because IQP is anyway, IQP is weak in the endgame. e4. Let's go rook b2 a little bit, give a check. Hikaru offered a draw in this game and Grischuk has declined it. Okay, that's the update I have. Daniel Dubov in the chat, when will your match start? Daniel, very soon. Stay tuned, stay there, your match will begin very soon. Alright, b4, g5. Shakti Trader saying you prefer white. Obviously white is better and he's in fact winning. White is winning this position. And knight can come to f5. Goes for rook f4, he plays the top choice. Wow. h3, rook h4, h2, rook into h5. Gives up the pawn on h3. b5. Supporting everything. Wow. Hikaru is on the verge of a loss here. He's losing this position. Down on time as well. Picks up the pawn on b5. 6 seconds, 5 seconds for Grischuk, knight f5. Okay, he wants to play e7. Okay. Rook h8 also is a possibility after that. But rook h4, rook b5, king f6, knight d5. King G5, Knight E7, Rook H8 mate. Oh. Okay, this endgame is winning because this pawn is going to just really pass quickly. Yeah, this is a win for white. I think this f6 and then king d6. Grischuk wins. Wow. Great. So Grischuk has won that game. And yeah, we are now going to start the next match. Alright, so there is another match, and that's match number 4. Okay, so give me a moment to change the names, and the next match will begin very soon. Let me start arranging the names. So Fabiano Caruana will be white, and Vladimir Fedoseev will be black. Fabiano Caruana. And then we have Fedoseev. Alright, so 2 players have come. Let me start arranging things. Okay, so the players are on camera. You can see that we're all set to see the next match, and after this Dubov will play Raunak Sadhwani. That's going to happen very soon. So let's focus on the game now. So Fabiano Caruana will be playing soon against Vladimir Fedoseev. Yes, the game has begun, and let's watch this game from White's point of view. Alright, Fabiano is white, he's going for the open Sicilian with the this is 4 knight Sicilian, knight c6 and then e5 followed by knight e4. That's how it usually is. Alright. c5, queen b8. Alright. Queen b8, f4. I think this is a move that I have seen recently, probably somewhere in the Super Bet event or somewhere in the Rapid Championship. This move has been played before. Queen e2, knight d5, castles. Both the players are blitzing out moves. It's a 10-minute game, 10 plus 1, but they are still 10 plus 2, but they are blitzing out moves. It just means that both the players have studied this particular line, and obviously I have not studied this line, and I'm going to guess the moves along with you. After queen b4, a3 is played, and bishop takes c5. He wants to play king h1 probably, and then once the queen moves, he's going to play b4, I think, or just play f5. There are a lot of maybes in this position. a3, bishop into c5 makes sense, but will Vladimir Fedoseev capture the pawn? That's a big question. Jasmita is asking knight d6 question mark. It's a possibility, but you know, this move knight d6 you can also play on the next move. Probably that's the reason why he's delaying it, because then let's say if black goes bishop e7 and then you play knight d6, you have actually got one move. Shakti Traders is saying only a miracle can save Rajasthan. I have no idea about the scores because I am in my room, so please give me an update if you know what the situation is. But right now we are in this game of Fabiano Caruana versus Vladimir Fedoseev. You should ask the question to yourself, would you have taken bishop into c5 in this position? Looks very risky. It's as if, you know, it's a poisonous pawn. It feels like so, but Vladimir is brave enough to capture it and say, जो होगा देखा जाएगा. That's what he's doing. जो होगा देखा जाएगा. अभी तो मार लेते हैं pawn. King h1, queen b6. Okay. Now let's start guessing the moves on our own without any engine help. I want to see this position from white's point of view. So b4, yes, but bd4. bd4, bishop e7. Okay, now I will go f5. I will go for the kill with f5. Emily Wills, do not put messages that are not supportive in nature. Yeah, we have to be very conducive as an environment. Try to talk about the game. And yes, Om Sri Prasad, I agree with you. I also feel that bishop into c5 was risky, but that is probably what the situation demanded. And yeah, Fedoseev went for it. With bishop e7, I think f5 is going to happen very soon. Like you can see in the camera, Fedoseev is thinking, but at the same time, Caruana is focusing on that particular square. That's my hunch. g4 looks better. No. Om Shri Prasad. Playing moves like g4 in such cases further exposes your king. Do not play a move that you do not need. I don't think g4 is needed. Rook on f1 is very much there, present to take care of that f pawn. So why do you need another pawn on g4? I don't think so. Just play f5 directly. Wow. Let's put that exclaim. f5. Good move. Alright, so after f5, my immediate threat as white is to play f6. So, yeah, I would not like to be black here because it's a challenging situation to face. Bishop b2, I think Amay, after having sacrificed the pawn, when you are getting a move to establish contact with your opponent's pawns, I think it's much better to play something dynamic than just develop the bishop to b2. I'm not saying that bishop b2 is a mistake, but I just feel that after having sacrificed the pawn, f5 is the way to go. Queen b5, obviously I will say no to the exchange of queens. I will probably play queen f3. That's a move that I would play. David Warner, it would be great to see Raunak win more. After all, we're doing this entire stream for Raunak because Raunak is in the knockout. And not only that, he played against Christopher, he won that game very nicely. I would also suggest all of you to just go back to that game that Raunak played against Christopher Yoo. It's very instructive in nature, tells you about prophylaxis, tells you about technique, tells you about how to provoke mistakes from your opponents. That's a game I would also like to use in my sessions. I will definitely show that game to my students. I think it's a very instructive game that Raunak played against Christopher. Alright, coming back to this game, queen f3, ef5, I will take queen takes f5. So we have guessed 3 moves back to back, and that's a good sign. Alright, what should we do now? Shall we go bishop g5? Because see, I can't take the pawn on d7 even though it's hanging, because my rook on f1 is hanging. So I need to move this bishop to connect the rooks. Raunak's game link. Okay, Raunak's game link. What you can probably our moderators can post the link. Yeah, Shreyas, thank you very much for that link. Shreyas, our moderator, has posted the link of the game that Raunak played against Christopher Yoo. Very instructive game. I would give 10 out of 10 for strategy in that game, especially after king c6 in that game. Alright, so Fabiano maintains the tension, plays bishop d2, probably also prevents a5 pawn break. Yeah, I like white in this position. It's a good way, it's a pleasant experience to be white. Next comes rook f3, rook af1, rook g3. These are my ideas right now. So first I'm going to play rook f3. That's my next goal. How is Fedoseev going to deal with this pressure? He goes rook a d8. Is he threatening d6? No, I don't think so. Or maybe he is threatening d6. So if rook f3, d6, rook h3, g6. Yeah, that is the plan. Alright, moderators, I hope you're there. And yes, coming back to the position, you can also probably paste the link of this game, this ongoing game of Fabiano versus Vladimir Fedoseev, so the players could also watch if they want to watch on their own. And coming back to this position after rook a d8, how is Fabi going to deal with this idea of d6? Yeah, I'm thinking of some ideas here, like rook f3, d6, but he goes a4, queen c4. Okay, this I wasn't expecting, because now with this move a4, the b4 also hangs. Queen d3 is a blunder, chat. If you're able to find why queen d3 is a blunder, applause from my side. Okay, so he is going to play probably queen d4 or queen b3. He goes for queen d4. Okay, and now David Warner, it's hard to say. And by the way, today is the birthday of Gukesh D. Queen d3 is met by knight f6. Well done, Shreyas. And today Gukesh turns 16. We posted birthday wishes for Gukesh, and Rakesh Kulkarni has also covered an episode of Know Your Grandmaster on our channel. So you can, the moderators can just paste the link of that video as well. Gukesh turned 16. So last year we made a video on Gukesh to celebrate his achievements, and also it was his birthday, and we shared it today. Alright, coming back, rook cd1, attacking the queen on d4. Like this is a pin, like he wants to do a disco dhamal with bishop h6. Bishop h6 disco dhamal may happen. Alright. So we have crossed 100 likes. I think that's really good. Thank you very much, chat, for your messages and for liking the stream and for supporting and being here with me to watch this Rapid Chess Championship knockouts. You know that if you want to improve your defensive skills, you have to play from Black's point of view. Like you have to start looking at the position from Black's point of view. Right now I want to improve my attacking skills, so I'm looking at the position from the white's point of view. After rook a d1, bishop h6 is a potential threat. bg5 is also a threat. I'm not sure what Fedoseev would do here. If he moves his queen to, let's say, a square like c4, then a move like rook f3 is also in the air. Or after queen c4, he could just play knight g5. Bishop g5, attacking the rook on f8, on d8. And then there's f6. No, knight g5 is coming, yeah? Queen c4, knight g5, takes, f6, takes. Possible. But he goes for g6 first, and now queen has to move to such a square that it has to also protect e4, so he goes for queen f3. Why bar dropped? I think bar dropped because this g6 was... I have no idea why the bar dropped, sorry. Avinash avare naan ಆರಾಮಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ? Coming back to Anish Naigiri. Okay. So Anish Naigiri, the score is that let me put the score on the screen so it will be easy for you. So I'm just putting the screen for you for 5 seconds. Take a look. Raunak won the game, Dubov has won, and then Grischuk has won. This is the last quarterfinals that we have. And after this, we will have semifinals. Alright. So here is the position where f5 has been played. Queen f3, f5. White has a possibility to en passant. He can just capture ef6. That's a possibility. If knight f6, then knight f6. Yeah, it's heading towards a draw there in that case. And if the knight retreats, then this pawn on e5 is hanging. So he goes for knight c3, which is probably the best move. If knight c3, then there is bishop c3, no problem. If queen takes e5, there is knight d5, and white will have I think a decent compensation against the pawn deficit. Bishop h6, queen into c3 is hanging. You can't play bishop h6, knight is hanging. And if you take the rook, there will be two pieces, so he will also take the bishop. So that's the reason bishop h6 is not correct. Jasmita was saying knight g5, no, knight g5 also no. I think it's because the e5 is hanging. So now we have this position with knight c3, Fabiano having 3 minutes on the clock, and Fedoseev Vladimir having 4 minutes. If this game ends in a draw, we will have a blitz game with 3 minutes plus 2 second increment. Vikramaditya, I have answered your question. Bishop h6 is not correct because the piece was hanging. So in this position also, bishop h6 means fe4, the piece was hanging. And in this position, obviously, after knight c3, it is black's turn. Knight c3 happens, knight c3, bishop c3, queen c4. Okay. Bishop into b4 is a threat. So white has to go rook d4, I think. Rook d4 makes sense. But Fabiano is no longer having any edge in the position. Black has consolidated, I think. Ramdas, the color of the game at the starting of the game depends on the seeding. So suppose there are 8 players and yesterday there were top 8 players. The player who finished first will play white against the player who finished 8th. So it's like that. So let's say if the match is between the player number 4 and player number 5, the player who got the rank 4 will play white against player with a black side, or with the player who got 5th rank. Alright. Pawn to b5. bc6 is a threat because rook d8 hangs. So black has to do something about this. cb5, like if cb5, then white would have this chance to attack on the a line. But he goes bishop c5. After b takes c6, what does he have in mind? It was black's turn. Okay. Now what do we do? Goes h3. Just waits. No threat, but just giving the king the Luft. Luft is a German word. It's like giving your king an escape door, a flight square. Yes, Ramdas, you are right. There is an advantage for finishing in the top 4. Bishop f8, bishop t4. a7 under attack, but not really because e5 is also hanging. cb rook b8. b5 is hanging. Rook b3. Okay. d6. Alright. E d6. Bishop d6. Now we are approaching the situation where both the players are having less than 3 minutes. Alright, bishop b2, and now rook e3 is a target. It's possible to play rook e3 for white. Goes for bishop f8. Because on queen c3, black has bishop g7 prepared. That's a good defense. Though black is a pawn up, it is white who was, creating some threats. But I think slowly the things are changing. Rajkumar, I've been playing chess for a long time now. I started chess in 2004. 2003 end and 2004. That's when I started chess. Rook e3, queen c4. Okay, what's happening? b5 is under attack. What do we do? Bishop e5, but rook into b5. Fedoseev is going to pick up another pawn. I fancy his chances now because once the b5 pawn is taken, it is black who will keep pushing the pawn on e7. Yeah. Rook into b5, come on. He goes for rook into b5. Yes, rook d8, but what about rook takes e5, rook takes e5 and queen c7? Rook d8, rook e7. I don't know. My point is that rook e5, there's queen c1, but there is rook d1. So rook into e5 is not working. Okay, so at least that is clear. So after rook d8, white wants to play bishop d6, okay, use that pin and win strategy. Black has to be wary of that, it should be aware of this threat. Goes for f4, okay, good job. Attacking the rook on e3, the rook cannot go on all these squares. Has to be real careful, the bishop is also a little bit loose. Rook e1 and the bar is significantly dropping. Anish, the next match is Raunak versus Dubov. It will start in about maybe 7 minutes from now. queen a8, f3, What is black's idea? Simple, f2, f1. I don't know, there's just no defense, I think. f2, rook f8. I disconnected for a moment. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm back. All right. Give me a moment. Give me a moment, I'm setting things up. Oh, let's get this game going. Yeah, so you can watch the game while I set the cameras. Okay, so this game is clearly in Fedoseev's favor. He's going to win this game because he has 2 pawns, one on the G line and one on the A line. 2 pawns are not easy. And then this rook is also ready to come to G4. Yep, as you can see. So Alexander Grischuk will play against Fedoseev, Vladimir. Next comes Raunak Sadhwani versus Raunak Sadhwani versus Daniel Dubov. Yeah, I'm just remembering Raunak because Gukesh because it's his birthday. All right, so let's go to that game now. Alright, so I'll take a quick break and I'll just come back. Alright, I'm back to cover the match between Raunak Sadhwani and Daniel Dubov. And their games are going to start very soon. You can see both of them are ready. You can see them on the screen. And meanwhile, let me check if the games are starting. Yes, the games are starting soon. I will let you know. The players are ready. Everything is set. Yes, do show your support for Raunak. I think Raunak OP in the chat, definitely yes. Do throw some stars for Raunak. Find that star emoji on YouTube and throw some stars in the chat. I think let's make this a very glittering match. I do not remember what Raunak's score is against Daniel Dubov, but I think as every day passes, Raunak is just improving, and same can be said about Daniel Dubov. But you know, Raunak is a junior, and we have seen Raunak come from some worse positions, and he has also swindled a lot. So he also has this strength to resist and create a lot of problems for his opponent. But I think being white can give him more chances. So let me just start the game. And if it's starting, I will show the game to you. Let's check again. I'm following Raunak Sadhwani, so if the game begins, then it will come automatically. Just in case, let me also manually follow him. Yes, I am already following him, so if the game begins, I will know. Scoreboard, you want to see scoreboard? Okay, I'm giving you the scoreboard. This is the scoreboard. Give me a moment, just let me see if the games have begun or not. Yeah, Dubov is asking in the chat if they can start the game, so it means it's not started yet. Okay, at least that part I am sure. All right. Bapa sabka, Baap sabka. Acha, Baap sabka. Tell me, did Abhijit win the event? I only knew the result until yesterday. I have not checked what happened today. Thank you, Bipin, Jasmith. Thank you very much for pouring stars in the chat. Very kind of you. We are going to start, and the games have begun. Let's go. Raunak is white, goes for e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. Will Raunak play bishop b5? I think so. That's what he's going to do. He goes bishop c4. He surprised me with this move. Okay. And he's going for the slow Italian with d3. No complications in the first few moves. Very simple and strategic. Knight coming to c3, and he's going to play a4. This I'm sure. Yes, he goes for a4. GT won the finals. Gujarat Titans. Oh, thank you, Sritu. So if you were a Gujarat Titans supporter, I think you should be really happy. Alright, so pawn to a4, bishop to e6, attacking the bishop on c4, but I think he can just castle. That's what he goes for. He castles. And after bishop e6, let's use our minds and try to see what we would do as white. After bishop e6, how about bishop g5. It's a move that I would probably play, bishop g5. Or probably rook e1. No, but rook e1, bishop c4 doesn't make sense. He goes for castles. Oh, it was white's turn. Okay, it was black's turn and I was thinking for white. Alright, dc4, a5, b3 makes sense. These pawns are all connected, no problems at all. And this pawn needs to be supported, so maybe rook e1 or just develop this bishop. Both moves look good to me. Rook e1, but he goes bishop a3. I want my knight to be on d5, but there is this problem of e4, so I was actually intending to play rook e1. Dubovius move is coming for sure. Yes, b6 is a typical Dubovius move, but I think Dubovian sounds more pleasant. Dubovian rather than Dubovius. Alright, queen d3 is played, and now he intends to play knight d5. That's the idea I was considering. Here Dubov does a Breyer with knight b8. Knight comes to d7. By the way, this Breyer idea of knight b8 is named after a player called as Gyula Breyer. Alright, knight has come to d7 and he wants to come with his knight to c5 probably. And if bishop c5, there is bc5. That's taken care. But he goes for knight h7. Possible idea is knight g5 in this position. Also opens f5 ideas, but not now. f5 is not for now, but for later. But knight g5 is a strong possibility. I think he can go for knight g5, but he goes for knight hf6 again. Okay. This is a chance for Raunak to put knight to e3. But will he do it? Divyank, the score, this is the first game between Raunak Sadhwani and Daniel Dubov. You can see that these are the scores. Grischuk will take on Fedoseev next. This is the semi-finals of the Rapid Chess Championship. And yeah, Raunak has played only one game so far and he has won, and this is the second game. So now Raunak has a chance to make a draw here. If he plays knight d5, it seems like Daniel is very happy to repeat with knight hf6. But if you ask me, I would say Raunak should play in this position. Play knight d5, knight hf6 and bring the knight to e3. That is what I would do. But yeah, he goes to play and he plays a different move. But the important thing is he has chosen to play where he could have drawn. But yeah, I think it's a good decision to play queen e3. Knight g5, okay. Knight g5, knight e5. The knight on d5 cannot be disturbed so well. Like c6 weakens both b6 and d6, so black will not dare to play that. Knight goes to e6 and there's some hold that black has over the c5 square. Ishan Hazarika, Hikaru lost to Grischuk. Queen c3, okay. I'm still trying to understand what the idea is. Queen c3. If knight comes to c5, he wants to take bishop into c5, knight c5 and play knight e5 probably. It probably has something to do with the spin on the d line. Yeah, that's the reason it's going queen c3. Ah, he has a threat. Knight takes e7 check, queen takes e7 and then knight takes e5, knight takes e5, queen takes e5, d takes e5 and bishop takes e7. What a cool idea. That is the reason why Daniel is protecting the e7 bishop. Very well done. Okay. That was a cool exercise, right? Cool idea. Yeah, Sanjay Mistry, good to see you in form. Yes, you are spotting the tactics. That's correct. Let's come back. Queen c3, rook e8. What other move? He goes knight h2. Okay. So what could be the idea? Knight h2. He wants to bring the knight to f5 via g4 or f1, and then e3 and f5. So a knight tour is going to happen very soon. Clear signs of a knight tour. Knight h2. I think one good thing for Raunak is that black doesn't have any aggressive ideas right now. So he can take his own time to plan things. In this position, knight f1 is possible, knight g4 is possible. He goes for knight f3. Why does he repeat in this position? Now again knight d7. Knight h2 and Daniel Dubov will just play the move knight df6. Knight f6 in this position, yes. I don't think he will repeat though. He will repeat twice and then on the third time he will change. Because white's position is pleasant. No immediate risk or anything of that sort. Now, but how do we progress as white? Let's think. How about queen a1? Looks stupid, I know. But yeah, I thought queen b1 or queen a1 and c3. But yeah. Oh, he's going to take a draw? Looks like it. Pranab Saha, the score is as follows, as you can see. Raunak versus Daniel Dubov, this is the first match. Raunak has won the first clash against Christopher, so he qualified to the semifinals. And here we are about to see a draw if black plays knight d7, I think. Yeah, so the first game has ended in a draw. The second game will be a blitz contest between Daniel Dubov and Raunak Sadhwani, and it's going to be a blitz game, 3+2 time control. This time Raunak will be black. Let's take a look at this game from his point of view. d4 knight f6, will we see a Catalan? I have a feeling that it's going to be a Catalan. Yes, it's Catalan. Alright, g3, d takes c4, bishop b4 check, bishop d2 a5. a5 is the line, yes, and now c6. Castling is also played, but I have seen players play c6 here. Knight c6 is also an idea. So knight c6, c6, or just castle. I have also seen sometimes players who played b5. Yeah, that's what he goes for, b5. And now a4 is an idea for white. You can see that Daniel Dubov had a similar game against Liem with the white side, and he won that game. Yeah, so it's a very similar position. a4, very good. And now c6 is very likely to happen. He goes bishop into d2, and now again I think c6 is again possible. He might play c6. Bishop into d2, should white play knight f d2? That's what Daniel Dubov is considering, I think. Because that directly attacks the rook on a8. That is probably the reason why I also don't like Raunak's move. This could be preparation, but at least right now I prefer white's position. Being a Catalan player myself, I somehow feel this is more pleasant to play as white. But let's see. Maybe Raunak has seen something. a5, queen d4, knight a3, c4 is under attack. Black has to castle now. Then comes knight dc4. Black can play bishop b7, but knight dc4 is also in the air. Yeah, this is not something that is so easy for black. Bye Shrita Patel, take care. Knight a3, And now castle. So he goes for castles. Okay, good job. Knight a c4 or knight d c4. Okay. Queen d1, then this rook f1. Where will this queen go? Queen cannot remain on c5 because rook c1. It cannot remain for long. Rook c1 is a threat. Knight takes a5 is then again something that black has to worry about. Queen d2, he wants to take this pawn on a5. Okay, cool. But what about queen b4? If queen b4, then a b4. He goes bishop b7. Okay, bishop to b7. There is rook b7. But a5 is lost. So that means Raunak is going to be a pawn down very soon. Yeah, 4 5 and then 3 4 5 6. So bishop b7, rook b7, knight a5, rook a7, b4. Solid pawn up. Yeah, I think I was right. So Raunak's position is not easy. He's a pawn down, but if he exchanges a lot of pieces and if he eliminates these pawns, there's a huge chance to make a draw. Queen h5 wants to go knight g4 in the long run. Also queen h3, knight g4 could happen. Knight c6. Now queen h3. Queen h3. What about queen s3? Probably f3. Yeah, there's nothing happening here. So rook b8 and then rook c1. Yeah, pawn is a pawn. Raunak definitely is missing that pawn. You can see that Raunak is tensed. It's visible. He's really calculating variations and saying how he could salvage some counterplay in this position. h5, that's one way of doing it. h4 is threatened and Dubov not only prevents it but also attacks the rook on a7. Rook b7. Okay, something was wrong with that move. What was wrong? I'm not sure. The evaluation changed so much. What was it? No idea what that was. Probably e5, I think. e5, and if queen e5, it was rook e8. This was probably the idea. But okay, he goes for knight d5, supports the c7 for one last time, I think. Queen h4. Okay. If queen f5, there is e4. Queen f3, ed5. Yeah, this is lost, I think. Queen e3, king g2, and there's just no perpetual. But Dubov has less time. That's one hope for us. Let's see. Queen h3, f3. Yes, Aradhya, great to see that you are watching this. Queen d4, again queen s3. Okay. Rook c5. He's threatening e4 also. How will he tackle? Rook a8. Alright. Queen h4. Again queen f5. And difference, I don't see the difference. I think e4 is coming here as well. Are they going to repeat? No. Dubov says no repetition and goes for e4. Knight f6, he goes queen f2. Knight e8 to support the pawn on c7. Now the queens are off the board. Okay. I think he can go knight d6, right? e5, knight b5. Why not go knight d6? Still some chance for Raunak to save this game because b5 is dropping very soon. Yeah, so right now Raunak is 2 pawns down, but I still feel he has chances to hold this game. Rook b3, important move I think. It's important to play rook b3 I think. But he plays e5 first, okay. And now king g7, very good. King g4, king h6, f4, he'll just take e4. This rook is passive, that is probably the reason why black has some chances to hold here. Rook b3, rook d5. Okay, rook d5 is an idea. Rook d5 is playing for this. King f6. Don't give the pawn, play king f6. Yes. Then come back e7 or g7. And then again come back king f6. Yeah, I think it's a good show by Raunak. He is hanging on to the position, like pawn down, 2 pawns down. Still has some defense. Akshit, don't celebrate too early. We still have work to do, I think. Dubov is not going to give this so easily. See, he's trying with h5. f5 check is a possibility, but he doesn't go for it. Oh no. Doesn't go for it. Okay. I think f5 check was really good in that position. Yeah, now Dubov is trying some endgame tricks. Because since Zugzwang king g4 is coming, he'll pick up the pawn. He plays rook g2, okay. Rook f5. And then I think he'll pick up this pawn. Yeah, very well fought. Now h3. h3, things are looking bright for Raunak now. Because h2, h1, the pawn is just 2 steps away from greatness. h2, king takes g3, h1, queen. h2, doesn't go for h2, why? Oh, because rook c5, h2, rook c1, rook g1. How is Daniel going to stop the pawn? Wow, he's going to win. Raunak is going to win this one, rook g1. And he's about to promote this pawn to a queen. It's not possible to stop this. And Raunak is going to win this. Wow. What a change. Look at the camera. What a change. Great result for Raunak there. He wins this. So he's through to the finals. He's going to play the final match. So this stream is going to go longer. And yeah, congratulations to Raunak for such a great show. He will now play the winner of the match between Fedoseev and Grischuk. Alright. So it's again time for us to update the title of our stream. It's great. Raunak is giving us a lot of opportunities to change the title. That's great for us. Alright. Switch to Grischuk's game, okay. I will switch to Grischuk's game. Give me a moment. All right. Okay, so Grischuk's game is going to start really soon. Grischuk versus Fedoseev. Vladimir, both the players are on the camera. You can see that. You can easily watch. Both are ready. That was a mouse slip from Dubov? Not a mouse slip, I think. Like Raunak really defended that position. As I mentioned in the beginning of that match, that Raunak is known for resisting. He can keep the game, like he can keep some chances until the very end. And I have personally witnessed Raunak's magic in the Title Tuesday broadcast, where he's been setting up small traps and he's completely changing the game. And I think this is one of his strengths, that he doesn't give up in minus positions. It's a strong quality. And I have a feeling that if India fields the third team, if there are odd number of entries in the open section, then Raunak Sadhwani could be a part of the third team of the open section for India. It's a strong possibility. Not sure about how likely it is, but I think it's a strong possibility. We are yet to see the list. Yes, it's going to also consider June list. So based on that, I don't know how things would change. But it would be great to see Raunak also play the Olympiad for India. But for that to happen, he has to keep up the rating. The calculations matter. There are a lot of other factors. All right. Hold on. I think Raunak is already in the team. I'm sorry. Raunak is already in the team. You're right. I just realized. Raunak is already in the team. Just refreshing. Hold on. So I'll just check whether he's in the second team. First team Arjun. Raunak is already in the team. I'm sorry. Let me check. Raunak is in the open team B. Yes. I'm sorry. Raunak is team B. It crossed my mind for a moment, because I had his name in the list and I was keeping an eye, and yeah, you're right, Raunak is already qualified, so we will see him. So there is going to be a third team if there are odd number of entries. Bhavik, for a moment it just skipped my attention, apologies. Alright, let's come back to the game. This is Fedoseev versus Grischuk. And Fedoseev is white, Grischuk is black. Yes, Anindya, you are right. Apologies. It just skipped my mind that he's already in Team B. Then coming to this game, Fedoseev versus Grischuk. It's a semi-terrace, and Grischuk and Fedoseev both are in their respective thinking positions. Can't see Grischuk so clearly, but Fedoseev looks all bright, as you can see. Bipin is saying move 62 was a mouse slip. Okay, let me take a look. Oh, but I can't take a look at it anymore. I will have to go to chess.com/events. Moneymaker is giving a possible third team. Puranik, Gupta, Ganguly, Arvind, Chopra. Could be, huh? Could be. I have no idea about the calculations, but it could be. Instead, he played King D6. Okay, so let me just revisit that. And I'll just check what you mentioned in the chat. Move 62 was a mouse slip. Okay, let me check. Okay, let's see. Move 62. He went to play what? He played King E6. He wanted to play King takes E5. But King takes E5, what happens? Rook G3 gets King F4, you are saying. Yeah, could be. So for the chat, maybe moderators can just post the link of the previous game that Raunak played. Alright, let's come back to our game. Knight F6, Bishop F4, Knight D7, Knight B5, E5, Bishop E3. White has 6 pawns, Black has 6 pawns. Okay. So what is the theme of this game? After Bishop E3, White is intending to play Knight D6. Yeah. Knight D6. How do you prevent Knight D6? What do we do? Should we go Queen A5 here? Knight D6 is coming. Interesting. Alright, coming back to the game, Knight D6 is a threat which I mentioned at the beginning. Not much has changed. Yeah, they are thinking. You bet for Grischuk. Bhavik is saying he wants. Alright, that's a good question to actually ask. Who are you supporting in this clash? Grischuk or Fedoseev? Grischuk is spending so much time on this move. Bishop E3. Is that so difficult? I mean, this move, Knight D6, so difficult to face? Knight G4. How about that? Knight G4. Knight G4. Will White play Bishop into A7? No, that's the question. Will White play Bishop into A7? Hitesh, my favorite opening is Catalan. Grischuk for the world. Okay. A lot of Grischuk fans in the chat. Very good. If you like Grischuk, then you actually know what the pressure is, because this Grischuk, I've seen that he has played so many games with just 1 minute on the clock. So I've seen that a lot before. Vladimir looks relaxed on camera. Bishop e3, knight c5. Okay, finally Grischuk has made a move. He's ready to give the castling rights. So he doesn't want to castle. Queen d8, king d8. Rook d1, like all white can just castle queen side, but there is bishop d7. Alright. I think another bonus for Raunak is that Raunak will get some time to rest and prepare. He is likely to face Grischuk, I think. My personal feeling right now. But things could change. The name of the instrumental track is some sort of a Zen music, but it's composed by Harris Heller. You can check Harris Heller and you will find the music. It's a Sakura album. Ravi Solanki says Sasha rocks. I agree, Sasha rocks. Bishop e3, knight c5. Queen d8, king d8. Yeah, queen d8, king d8 happens, okay. So let's start thinking from white's point of view. Rook d1 check, bishop d7. I will go with bishop d7. Don't play king e8 because of the fork, so bishop d7, very good. g3, bishop g2 is the idea. So I'll go a6. But a6, knight d6. It invites danger, I think. But I can still go for it. So a6, knight d6, bishop d6, rook d6, knight fe4. No, knight fe4. Keeping this knight on c5 loose, I don't like it. I don't like it. g3 is a very nice move. Because see, there are ideas like bishop h3 also. Black has to be careful. Raunak's game will start in 12 minutes from now. g3, it's not an easy move to face. Bishop h3 tricks are there. Yeah, bishop h3 is coming. Okay, let's try defending this position for a moment. For Grischuk, what will Grischuk do? After g3, a6, knight d6, bishop d6, rook d6, knight ce4. He goes for it. Okay. So the variation I am predicting is knight d6, bishop d6, rook d6, knight ce4, knight e4, knight e4, bishop b6 check. No, knight e4, and then just come back with the rook. I think that's the move that he is likely to play. Yeah, just move the rook. Yes, this is perfect. But the engine doesn't like it. That's another story, but okay, we are getting better. We are getting better at finding what these moves are. Look at the time difference. Yes, exactly. But this is what Grischuk is known for. He spends a lot of time whenever the position is critical or whenever he feels the position deserves a lot of thought, and then he somehow starts playing. In the timetable, he starts playing really well. But here is an interesting fact that I will share with all of you. There was this tournament in 2004 that I played where Adhiban also played, okay? And in his younger days, Adhiban had this style to think a lot in the beginning and then play fast in the last few minutes of the game. Like he used to have like 30 seconds. He used to rely on that 30 seconds increment, and he used to play like a legend in the last phase of the game. So yeah, it reminds me of Adiban. Now Adiban is completely changed. Like he doesn't play with so much time trouble, but he used to do that when he was 12 and 11. Raunak is from Nagpur, I think. Shakti Traders, I think Raunak is from Nagpur. No, let me just confirm. Raunak is from Nagpur or Mumbai? Let's see. I'll just confirm it. Yeah, he's from Nagpur. Let's come back to the game. Castles, rook c8. Okay. All right. So see, Grischuk has managed to defend his position. He is not as much, like he's not in so much danger right now compared to what the situation was. Yes, Nishant Verma, you are right. So after rook a8, what would I do as white? I think I would play rook b3. I don't like my rook on b6, so I want to move that rook from b6. Because black also intends to play f4. So you need to be really careful. So I will move this rook. Given a chance, I would move this rook. 3 chess books which had a big impact on my chess career are I think one book which I really liked in the first part of my game was this book by Baburin Alexander called Winning Pawn Structures. That's one book which has played a huge role in my chess career. Apart from that, Grandmaster Boris Havruk's books also, and then if you want, there's also another book called Pump Up Your Chess Rating, which has helped me more with coaching than playing, but that has had an impact. Pump Up Your Chess Rating. Alright, g6 has been played, and this f5 pawn looks a little weak to me. But opening the pawn, like opening the g line, would also mean some danger for black. So black has to be like really careful. Like white has to be careful on this line, and white has to be careful about the g line, and black has to be careful about the f5 pawn. So both have their trump cards. If white opens the position, white has to take care of his king. A move like h3 could do really well for white, I think. I would play h3 in this position. Just wait. Just wait h3, and then we'll see what happens next. Let's go h3 and wait. Will Fedoseev play h3? Or will he play some action move? Yeah, you are right, Sanjay. Perfectly summarized. Bishop h3. King e6. Okay. I'm looking at some tactics already. Yeah, bishop h6, very nice move. Gf check. Okay, so this was a topic we just discussed. So white has to be careful before opening the position, but at the same time black is willing to open the position if white wants to, but black has his own cards based on this king. Now he's likely to open with gf5 because the king is likely to hide on f1. As this rook coming to f3 has made this clearance, again it's a psychological battle, prophylaxis are involved. Rook d1 is a threat now. So gf, king f1, rook d1 will be a mate. So white has to watch out against this threat. Rook f1 back, Fedoseev tries to repeat, but I don't think Grischuk will repeat his move. He will play something more aggressive. That's what I think will happen. Let's see. Rook to b3. Okay, what is the idea? I have no idea. What's the threat? Threat is not gf, obviously, because gf, then there's this check that the king will have to face. So it's not that. Knight e4. Rook f3. It's a question of whether white will play gf5 or not. If white manages to do that, white has great chances. If black manages to keep these tactical ideas going, he's still in the game. Why doesn't knight d2 work for black? Because I think there's this bishop waiting. Dun, dun, dun. That could be the reason. Achint. Knight f6. Okay. Just 10 seconds for just 14 seconds for Grischuk. 14.5. It's not so easy. Bishop f4 checking e6. Okay. Finally gf5 happens. Finally. e4 is also protected. So both the sides were able to actually execute their ideas. Rook d6 threatened, so knight d5 makes sense. Will he go for it? Let's see. Goes for knight h5, allows rook d6, but he says g3 is more important. Also, if this bishop moves, then f4 will also be an idea. Now we have reached an endgame where both sides have just 4 pawns. Likely to end in a draw. After all this drama, I think this is likely to end in a draw. But white can keep playing because of this f5 pawn. That's the only reason I think white can try. But you have to play rook d2 first to prevent rook c2. So the signs of draw are high. The chances of this game ending in a draw are high. And then rook d2, rook d2, yeah, draw. Make a draw. Now it will be draw. e3, very good. e3, king c3, big fish offers a draw, and it's a draw. So this game has ended in a draw. They will immediately play a game. It's going to be a blitz game, 3+2. So yes, see, Grischuk, despite being so low on time, was able to make a draw in that position. That too, very difficult position. So he has a lot of confidence and is able to find those defensive moves with very little time on the clock. Oh, this is a Grunfeld battle. Do we have any Grunfeld fans in the chat? Do we have any Grunfeld fans in the chat? Okay, so knight f3, c5 and h3. Okay, castles, we develop the bishop. So Raunak's game will be further delayed because they are going to a blitz game. So it might take at least another 6 minutes for Raunak's game to begin. Bishop a to b6, bishop e3, bishop b7. e4 pawn is attacked, so queen d3, bishop a6, queen d2, bishop e2, queen e2. Possible to play, but he goes queen c7, and after castles, still has the same plan. Knight can come to d7. It's a typical Grunfeld. So not many Grunfeld fans, probably none, yeah? Akash is saying no, Omkar is saying no. So a lot of no Grunfeld audience today. Not liking Grunfeld. Grunfeld was my first love, you can say. I used to like Grunfeld a lot with black. After castles, rook d8. cd4, cd4, e6 might happen, or black might just play knight c6 also. Both the moves are possible. Goes for rook a c1, e6, good job. Bishop g5, provoking f6, but black won't go for f6. He will keep that bishop open. The eyes of this bishop need to be open for a long time to exert pressure on the central pawn on d4. Abhishek Deshpande, you are right. I am from Belagavi. And queen c7. Okay, knight c6, rook d1. Black cannot play cd4 so easily. He is little reluctant based on this rook on c1. So I think rook c8, queen b8, queen a8 is a possible idea that black could go for. First love is always immature. Omkar Pradeshi, I don't think so, because it may not be the same for everybody. For some people, first love, they end up, if it comes to life, they end up marrying that person. But if it comes to openings, they might end up playing that opening forever. You never know. I think it's different for different people. Alright, h4. That's a move that I like, and I would have also played in the game. h5 is a definite idea for sure, and the fact that black cannot play h6 so easily elevates the importance of h4. cd happens, cd, queen b8, but who scores queen b6? Okay. How many pieces are attacking this? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many defenders do we have? 1, 2, 3. So that means the pawn on d4 is in danger. You need to protect it either by playing d5 or by playing e5. Black has to choose. I think d5. My vote is for d5, but maybe e5 is the strongest move. Let's check. I'm right. d5 is correct. d5 is correct. So d5 should be played. Oh, great to know. Abhijit, yes, this is a blitz game because the rapid game ended in a draw. And Soham Saha, I wouldn't recommend Kings Indian for a 1200 player. I would recommend Nimzo Indian. But if you are already playing Kings Indian, there is no harm. Study some Kasparov's wins and take some inspiration. And then the point about playing Kings Indian is you have to analyze every game that you have played in Kings Indian, because by every game you will learn a lot. So a lot of hard work has to go into Kings Indian if you're playing Kings Indian from the very early stage of your career. And Animesh Raunak has won the game against Christopher. He has won the match against Dubov, and now he will play the finals against Grischuk or Fedoseev. Abhishek, nice to know that you're from Dharwad. Rakshit Singh, I think what he says also makes sense. Raunak's match will begin in maybe 3 minutes or 4 minutes from now. As soon as this match ends, Raunak's game will begin. This game is likely to end in about 3 minutes. And all those who have joined, do like the stream. Alright. You're welcome, Animesh. And now coming to the game. H5. I like this move. H6. I would also go as far as saying that this pawn on H6 could be very helpful in creating back rank mates in the long run. So okay, H5 has been played, and Fedoseev is thinking. We enter the portion where both the players have less than a minute. Bishop into D4? No, I wouldn't do that. Rook C7, okay. Rook D1. Do not trade rooks, I would say. Not trade rooks and keep the tension. But will Grischuk retain the rooks? Will he maintain the rooks? He maintains it, but he goes to E1. Alright. I would have done that on D1, but why Rook E1? I don't know. Let's see. Probably he wants to free up this queen, yeah? Maybe. And he's also threatening Bishop F4. Black has to be careful. Srijan wants to see Alexander Grischuk versus Raunak Sadhwani. Let's see. Still the match is going on. We can't say anything yet. Rook C4 attacking the pawn on D4. What do we do? D5. ED. Wants to go Queen E8. D5 is met by E5, and the advantage is extending towards white's favor. Okay, H6. Yes, come on, H6. And now F6 might come, so you have to be really careful here. How about knight D2 and then F4? And then F4. F6, I'll go FE5. Here goes Queen B3, okay. Intending to go knight C4. B5, yes, prevents knight C4, very good. I think A4. It's a move that can be automatically played. A4, will he go for A4? Goes for bishop E3. Queen A3. Attacking the queen, okay. Queen B1, okay. Wow, Grischuk has 5 seconds. Wow, it's going really close. 5 seconds, 2 seconds, has to make a move. Bishop D2, repeats. Queen A3, Bishop C1, Queen A4. No draw. Rook C1, Rook C4. E4 attacked, F3 supports the pawn. Good job. F5, okay. Rook takes rook, rooks come off, Queen C4. Still, the E4 pawn is in target. E3 hanging, Bishop F2. The game is going really fast. Queen D1. Queen F3. Queen F3 is the target. I think he's going to play Queen F3 probably. Or he might not do that. Or he can just go D6. Threatening D7, Bishop D7 has to come, or Queen C6, Knight C5, again D7 is a threat. So Bishop D7. Then Queen D5 check. Doesn't go for it. He goes Knight D7. Grischuk is winning this. Queen D5 check and wins the pawn on E5. Very important pawn. Yeah, he wins the pawn. Now he's winning. Winning the game. E5, E6, E7 coming by full force. Queen C1 check threatened. Bishop E3 solves the problem once and for all. He goes D7, probably because he has seen BG3. Okay, so there is no problem at all. He's seen King H3, even better. Queen H6 is Bishop H4. Queen E3 is Pawn G3, and it's lost. Fedoseev is losing this. Okay. But Grischuk has to be careful not to take the position lightly. Grischuk is winning, but some speed is required for sure. Queen d7 check and bishop d4. Not going for it. Queen d7 check. Bishop d4 check. They're just giving some checks. Why not queen d7? Bishop d4 check. Queen e8 and bishop d4 check. He's not going for it. Why is he not using the bishop? That is my main question. Now h4 check is threatened. So he goes for queen f3. He wants to win slowly. But he's assured of a win here. I don't think there is any doubt about it. He'll go bishop c3, he'll go king g5 and slowly he'll win this. King c4 is met by e6. Though he can also just go king f6 and zugzwang. There you go. It's going to be finals. Raunak Sadhwani versus Grischuk coming very soon. Alright. So I'll get ready for that match. Stay tuned. It's going to be Grischuk versus Raunak Sadhwani. I'm back. The next round is going to start soon, and I'm very curious what's going to happen. All right, let's go. So let me just make sure that the game is starting. So I am following Raunak, so as soon as the games begin, you will see that on the screen. Grischuk is not here yet. Yeah, he's back. Probably got water for himself. And we are all set for the finals. So we are all set for the finals of the match between Raunak Sadhwani and Alexander Grischuk. The game might begin any moment. Animesh, the prize for this particular event, first prize is $7,500. The weekly prizes, you have 20,000, yes, but the first prize is $7,500. All right, let's start. Let's go. The game has begun. Grischuk is playing French, so he might have seen the game of. He might have seen the game that Raunak played against Christopher Yoo in the first round. That was also advanced variation of the French. So A3, Knight G7, but it's a different version of French because now CD4 has already been played. And now D4 pawn is hanging. Will he sacrifice the pawn or will he protect the pawn? That's the question here. Abhishek, the Olympiad is starting on 28th, I think, yeah. 29th is the starting date, 28th is the inauguration, I think. Just check the website, you will get the details. Probably starting on 28th or 29th. Divyanshu Mishra, this is the first game that's being played. If this match ends indecisively, then that's about it. But if there's a draw, then there'll be another blitz game. Alright, so he goes for knight e2. Wants to place his knight to f4. Maybe bishop c2, he played bishop into f5. Okay. This somehow reminds me of a game that Anand played in Superbet. I could be wrong, but the features were very similar. Knight e2, knight f4 is an idea. Bishop d2, okay, a5 hangs. Queen d1, rook f d1, again a5 hangs. Knight c4, he is likely to play bishop c3 or even bishop c1 idea b3, but yeah, a3 hang. So knight c4, he has to probably play bishop c3. Or he could also play bishop b4, intending to kick this knight from c4 with b3. I'm very curious to see how Grischuk responds, and probably this is the moment where Grischuk is taking his usual pause to understand what to do. Knight on a5 is hanging. You might be feeling, why is he thinking so much? But maybe there are some variations that he's considering. Knight c6 back, so he doesn't want the business with knight c4. And what do we have here? He goes h5, and Raunak has offered a draw. And the players have agreed to a draw. And that means we will see a blitz match between Raunak and Grischuk. This time, Raunak will be playing black. The next match will begin instantly. I'm keeping an eye. Do not worry, games will begin. And there you go, Raunak is black, and this time he's going to choose Nimzo Indian. Would it be Ragozin? Yes, it is a Ragozin. Ragozin is an opening which is considered to be pretty solid. It's named after Vyacheslav Ragozin, who was a long-term second of Botvinnik. And now we have the Ragozin with bf6, queen f6 and queen a4. Thanks to this knight c6, the bishop is protected. I think they'll go castle, and then there's this line with dc4. Yeah, that's what he's going for. Okay. Castles, bishop d7, intending some knight jumps in the future. Bishop c4, bishop c3, and then maybe knight d4. It's possible. I'm not aware of the specifics in this line, but I know that if bishop takes c4, then there is bishop d6. This I have seen before. Interesting perspective. I do not know. When it's Grischuk, it's really hard to say whether blitz is good for you or not, because Grischuk is somebody who is used to playing with less time on the clock. So he has this experience, but Raunak has his experience of playing a lot of blitz games. He plays Title Tuesday regularly. But yeah, it's hard to say. I think it's a clash of let's say both sides having their own strengths and weaknesses. Hard to say, or hard to give a clear preference. But yes, there are some people who feel in the chat, they are saying that Raunak is probably taking a draw because the blitz format favors him. Could be. Bishop b5, a6 is a possibility. Yeah. If bishop c6, there is bishop c6. And this rook could jump over to h5. Suddenly the position is, becoming so attractive. Bishop e8. This is probably some sort of a waiting move. Now knight takes d4 is an idea. Knight takes d4 was an idea there. Yeah, I spotted it. Queen b2, b7 hanging. Needs to support it with rook b8. I think rook b8 is good enough. He goes b6. Probably wants to play a5 also. And he wants to go a5. c4, knight a5. Okay, good job. I think rook b8 and then c5 will solidify black's position. Let's see what Raunak does. Knight a5. Also, it's making a little white's rook d1 a little difficult because there is a bishop a4 idea. He goes for e4, so he claims more space on the. He claims more space in the center. e5 is probably Raunak is trying to provoke Grischuk to play e5. Maybe this bishop will find a nice diagonal here. That's what I feel. c5 is not possible here because b6 is dropping. So yeah, we have to be very careful. All those who have joined, do hit that like button and stay tuned, stay here, don't go anywhere. This is the final match between Alexander Grischuk and Raunak. The first match ended in a draw, and the second match is a blitz game, which is what you are watching right now. Rook f d1. Rook b8. Okay, now he is threatening to play c5 because the b6 pawn is protected. It's important to play c5 and get that pawn break. It's some sort of a relief for black to get c5. e5. Okay, queen e7. Now d5. How good is d5? Raunak is slowly building his time advantage. Right now, white is slightly better, but it's not anything serious. White has his chances and black can defend white's threats. I think bishop c6 is a good move to play here. Will he do that? Just maintaining everything, preventing d5. Queen c3. What's the move Raunak is going to come up with? Raunak has spent a lot of time already on this move. He goes bishop a4. Okay. And then develops rook d7. He wants to get his rook to d8. And then probably prevent d5. His idea is to prevent that d5 pawn break. h3. Rook bd8. Again, idea is to overprotect that d5 square. But c5, knight c6. He goes bishop b5, but a4. Oh, the evaluation is changing. I think he should have just played knight c6 because bc5 was a threat. Yeah, but he went for bishop b5, cb6. Just cb6 is what I would do, but he can also do bishop into e2. He goes cb6, bishop b5, ab5. Rook can stand strong on d5. That d5 is a beautiful square for this knight as well, but how will the knight go to d5? That's another question. Yeah, it's not easy, but you see that black's position is solid. I don't see any major problems for black. Queen d7 supported again. Yes, and now knight c6 attacking the d4 pawn. So you can give up your b5 pawn for the d4 pawn. This game is at the moment equal, and I think we're going to have another tiebreak if there's a draw here. Rook b4. Okay, it's protecting the pawn on d4. Knight c6, rook b5, rook b5, rook b5, knight d4, knight d4, queen d4, queen d4, rook d4, rook b6. That's the idea. So you can't really take the pawn because you will end up losing the b6 pawn and you will be a pawn down. Black can play rook c8 and rook c4. He goes for knight c6. So he's going to play this. But it's a pawn down here in this line. Oh, he wins the pawn back because rook b6 is met by rook check and rook d2, winning this f2. Okay. This is what I missed. This is probably what Raunak has already seen. Yeah, and then rook d2 and he will win the pawn on f2. Okay. Yeah, this is a draw. Wow, so this is going to be a draw and there'll be another match. g5, I think yes, good defense. Yeah, this should be a draw. Yeah, it should be a draw. So we will have another match. I don't see any ways for black to set a trap or anything. I don't see it. It's likely to end in a draw. Okay, one plan is to go here and round up the pawn, but that's I think too much. Rook c5. King d5. Rook c1. Oh, I think he has put himself in some sort of a zugzwang. Rook a2. Rook d2. Yeah, it's ultimately it's just no headway. So this rook a1, king d4, rook a5, maybe something like that. Some drama like that you can do. Yeah, it's a draw. Alright, so that means another match will begin. This is a bullet game, okay? And Raunak is white. He chooses London. Okay. Seems like Raunak has prepared this. He's playing really fast. e4. Okay, this is already new to me. Something that I have not seen before. a6, and it has put Raunak in some pressure. He's thinking. Rook b3, there's queen a5. He goes bishop e5. Okay, first attacking the queen. If queen a5, he wants to play bishop c6, I think. Queen c5, but bd4, there's queen a3. Okay, this is a draw if it happens, like queen a3, rook b3. Oh, there's no perpetual. Okay, as long as there is no perpetual attack, I think we are okay. Yeah, white goes ed5, cd5, rook b3, queen a2. White can go queen e2, goes queen d6. Okay, rook e1 idea, bishop e5, queen a1. Okay, setting up some traps for sure. Now c4 could be an interesting idea to try. He goes rook e3. Okay, but I think c4 was good. Bishop e6, knight b3, rook c8, queen b2. Black is solid, there's just no doubt about that. But if this knight could come to g5 and create trouble, that was, I think, what I was looking for. But still, this is still very much in black's favor right now. Knight g4, rook g3, bishop into d4, queen d4. Okay, black is clearly a pawn up, no? 5 pawns versus 6. Oh, queen h2 check. I also missed it. And now knight e3 is a threat. Bishop has to move from here. Raunak in trouble. This is trouble for Raunak. The bishop is trapped. Now rook g3, queen f2 is also coming. Now rook g1 is last resort, but e4, very precise play by Grischuk. ed3, king d3, knight f2. Oh, this is looking really bad. I think Raunak is losing. e3, even better. ef2 is a threat. With that, Grischuk wins. Unfortunately, Raunak has to settle for second place, but congratulations to Raunak. I think it was a great run. You can see there Grischuk really being happy and relieved, is expressing both those emotions with that final moment. It was, I think, a very good show by Raunak. Was showed a lot of energy from the beginning today, and yeah, that's about it in this Rapid Chess Championship. Raunak played really well. I think he second position. Was this the best result by an Indian player? We'll have to check. I don't remember which other Indian, or whether Vidit actually got second position in any of the matches. I'm not sure. Nevertheless, second position in this Rapid Championship is a great result, as he's going to win at least 3. And you can say bragging rights for second place. It's good. Yeah, so he's really happy. It's clear that Grischuk was happy with that win, And it's also commendable that Raunak played this yesterday while playing Sharjah tournament, and he made time to also play the finals, keeping that in mind that the round had to end before the match. There are so many things. So huge kudos to Raunak Sadhwani, and we'll be happy to see him again in our future Rapid Chess Championship. And I think that's about it for now from my side. Hi Anshika, you're back. So that means this is the best performance by an Indian player. Raunak Sadhwani getting second place is really great, and congratulations Raunak, if you're watching. Well done, and I'm sure you will find another chance to win this event. Keep it up, keep going. And all of you dear chat, thank you very much for watching for the last 4 hours or 3 hours or so, more than 3 hours actually. And I'm very happy that we are able to cover Raunak's matches tonight, and I'll be back with another video or another stream. Until then, take care, bye bye, good night.